The book of Psalms, chapter 37 and verse 12. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to start off as always by giving all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kudash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect out there, whoever you might be. And Shalom to the 144,000. It's the brother Amawan Padah from the GMS Denver camp. Doing a quick news update. All right, some recent news that just took place here in Colorado. All right, but it ties into end time prophecy. All right, and the reason why I brought this scripture out right here is because we're starting to see this take place. All right, the wicked being Esau, Edom. All right, the so-called white race, the Edomites. They're plotting against the just. All right, the just would be, the Israelites, starting with the elect. All right, you see what I'm saying? And like I said earlier in a previous lesson that I did today, this is the calm before the storm, man. And they're getting ready to come down having great wrath, especially on those who are preaching Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and those who believe on Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, they're already starting to ramp up their false accusations and things like that. We can see it getting ready to take place. They're getting ready to come after the men of the Lord, man. And this is a part of prophecy. It's a part of our trial. We're going to be falsely accused and all type of different things, man. But without further ado, let's get into the article that I came across, and I'll play a video for you as well. Matter of fact, I'll play the video first. Okay, so here's a video that was sent to me, all right, by one of the brothers here at GMS Denver. And it's, as you can see, read the title. It says, FBI law enforcement respond to quote-unquote T attack in Boulder, Colorado. And Boulder, Colorado was not too far from Denver. All right. But anyway, let's go ahead and play this video.
We are going to begin with breaking news from Boulder, Colorado, where there has been an attack in a downtown mall area. Police have evacuated sections of Pearl Street, a popular meeting area. Reports say people were participating in a walk to support the Israeli hostages held in Gaza when they were reportedly attacked by people throwing at least one incendiary device. A witness says she saw fire in the area and a man with spray bottles who seemed to be spraying the fire to keep it going. The number of people injured is not yet known right now. The FBI says it is investigating this as a terror attack, with agents on the scene already.
Okay, so you heard that. All right, hold on one second. Okay, so Salakia. Now you saw that, man. That just took place recently, man. This came out an hour ago. So the first thing that came to my mind is that these devils are getting ready to start their victimization campaign, and also the false accusations against those who are opposed to those 1948ers. Now we're not involved in the whole Palestinian and Israeli conflict, all right? Because they're both heathens, and both of those people are heathen, and the Lord is going to take them down soon. But the thing is that you got these 1948ers, man, that are getting ready to play the ultimate victim. All right, now we don't know if this thing could be staged. I mean, I wouldn't put it past these damn devils, man. They stage different events. They've done it before to try to play that victim card, man. You know what I'm saying? And that way they can demonize anybody speaking against them. All right, so they're saying it was some dude, pretty much carried out a T attack against those 48ers out here in Boulder, Colorado. All right, in the downtown area and whatnot. Okay, and they said the FBI is investigating and calling it a T attack. All right, so we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. Like I said earlier in my previous lesson, they finna come down with great wrath, man. And before they do that, they usually come up with accusations. All right. And who are the main people that speak against those 48ers, man? All right. The Hebrew Israelites, you know what I'm saying? The true prophets of the Lord are prophesying against Mount Seir. All right. And Mount Seir is, synonymous to the Edomites, as it tells you in Ezekiel, I believe it's the 35th chapter. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. The Lord commanded us to prophesy, meaning speak against these devils and, the rest of the heathen as well. But, we're doing what we're commanded to do. We're not violent. All right. And they want to paint us out to be that. So get ready, man. But let's get Ezekiel real quick. So here we have that scripture that I mentioned. All right. Ezekiel 35 and verse 1, it says, "Moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi Al-Shai, came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it." All right. And that's exactly what we do. And like I told you earlier, Mount Seir, when you see that right here, it's talking about the people of that region, which are the Edomites. Because in the ancient times, they inhabited the region of Mount Seir. Okay, so when you see this in the scriptures, prophetically speaking, it's talking about the Edomites. All right, you see, and those 1948ers, small hats, those are Edomites of the tribe of Amalek. They are descendants of Esau. Okay, portraying to be the Lord's holy people, and they're not. They're imposters, and they've been called out. On a large scale in these last days. They're being sought out, man. All their lies are being uncovered. The whole thing, of them going over there into the land in 1948 has been found out to be a deception. And they're not the chosen people of Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai, the God of the Bible. They're not of the seed of Jacob. All right. They're actually the people of whom the Lord has cursed to judgment. So, they're being cornered off, man, by this word. All right, this word disproves them. This word is like that light that shines on the damn cockroach, man, and they're scrambling. So they got to try to come up with an accusation against those speaking against them. And this whole scenario that took place in Boulder, we don't know the complete details of it. But like I said, we knew things like this would happen. And I wouldn't put it past them to say that it could be made up, But, hey, we'll see. Yeah, we're supposed to prophesy against those goddamn devils. All right. Now, what I'm saying is that knowing how Esau moves, he's going to try to make it seem like anybody who even speaks a word against them, non-violently, just the words, they can say that, oh, those words that you're speaking are inciting violence against, the 1948ers. And they're going to bring forth laws and try to, silence the prophets. And bring them up on charges, you know what I'm saying? And, bring us up on charges just for speaking the words of Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai, which condemns them. You see, Esau is very subtle, all right, like that serpent. He's very sneaky, and he does things, and gradually. But anyway, we're supposed to prophesy against them damn devils. Now, I also gotta, make the disclaimer: we are not violent. Right, the Hebrew Israelites of Great Millstone. All right. And this goes for all the Hebrew Israelites. You're not supposed to be out there inciting violence or carrying out any physical attacks against these people, because the Lord has not commanded us to do so. And when you do that, hey, whatever happens to your ass, that's what happens to you. But you've been told, all right, to only prophesy, to only speak the words of the Bible and break them down correctly. We are not in a physical battle, all right? And you know what? It goes on to say, man, the Lord is against those damn devils. All right? So it goes on to say in verse 3, "And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord power, Behold, O Mount Seir," all right, meaning the Edomites, "I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate." All right? You see? So this lets you know that the Lord is not talking about an actual mountain. All right? The Lord is not fighting against an actual mountain. He's against these devils. All right? So when you see Mount Seir, like I said, it's talking about the people. All right? The Edomites. He's against Esau. All right? And the Lord is going to stretch out his hand against them. So we don't have to do anything physical, man, to get the ministry blame. All right, they're gonna accuse us falsely, but we're not to, do anything to have the ministry blame. You understand? So keep this in mind. They're they're looking for reasons to demonize us, and they're gonna try to do so, man. They're gonna, fulfill their part of prophecy, which is to be the false accusers. All right, that word devil, go to the etymology of it, it means false accuser. All right, so we saw this video. I'm gonna play this one. This is like 6 minutes. I haven't seen this one as of yet, so let's go ahead and play it and see what they're talking about. All right, this is on ABC News, man. So this thing is spreading quick. Look at this. All right, so they're moving with this thing, man. Let's check it out.
Thank you everyone for coming this evening. My name is Deanna Wall. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Boulder Police Department. We are in the very, very early stages of this active investigation, and Chief Stephen Redfern is going to speak to you about what happened this afternoon. Chief.
Hold on, Steve.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Dion said, my name is Stephen Redfern. I serve as the police chief here in Boulder, Colorado. Today I'm here to give you very preliminary information about an attack that occurred here in downtown Boulder at about 1:26 p.m. today. At that time, Boulder Dispatch received several calls to the county courthouse located at 1325 Pearl Street here in Boulder. The initial callers indicated that there was a man with a weapon and that people were being set on fire. The initial response by our officers, we were on scene very quickly. When we arrived, we encountered multiple victims that were injured with injuries consistent with burns and other injuries. While our officers and paramedics and fire department personnel got those victims quickly to the hospital, our officers were pointed out, a suspect was pointed out to our officers on the scene. Our officers immediately encountered that suspect who was taken into custody without incident. That suspect, who I'm not able to ID at this time, was taken to the hospital with some minor injuries as well. And there's a lot more we're investigating right now before I'm able to release information on that person. The scene itself is contained, but we have a large area here in downtown Boulder closed off right now. Businesses have been closed, and we have asked people to avoid the area. This area is not safe yet. We're dealing with a vehicle of interest. We're dealing with a large area that we are making sure it's safe before we allow people to come back into the scene. If your vehicle is here in the several block perimeter that we have, please follow our social media. We will announce when the roads are open and people can retrieve their vehicle as well. I appreciate everyone's patience as we work through this complex scene. What I will say lastly is this was a beautiful Sunday afternoon in downtown Boulder on Pearl Street, and this act is unacceptable. I hope you'll join me this evening as we're working through this investigation. We are working, I just came from the command post. We've got dozens and dozens of people here, our state, local, and federal partners, working through this to figure out exactly what happened. I ask for a little bit of patience as we do that, but also I ask that you join me in thinking about our victims, the families of those victims, and everyone involved in this tragedy. Our hearts go out to them, and we are going to do everything we can to work as hard as we can throughout the evening to provide more information to get answers for everyone. With that, as I stated, it would be irresponsible for me to speculate right now on motive and other things. I will take maybe a handful of questions, but then I've got to go back to a briefing.
I had a quick one.
Yes, Shaw.
Was an actual protest going on when this occurred? Were a group of people gathered and were words said that would indicate this had anything at all to do with that protest?
So what I will tell you, on Pearl Street, it's a walking pedestrian mall downtown here. There was a lot of people out. Very beautiful day. There was a group of pro-Israel people that were there in a peaceful demonstration. I wouldn't even call it a protest. I believe that happens frequently down here. They were there in that area. We are looking and actively interviewing victims and witnesses to determine if that group was targeted or others, and we just don't have those answers yet. Those are things we hope to be able to provide you later this evening.
FBI is already calling it a targeted terror attack.
Mm-hmm.
Would you also refer to it as a terror attack?
So I've been in contact with our local FBI multiple times. We are in contact with them here. We are not calling it a terror attack at this point. Again, it's way too early to speculate motive. I know there's a lot out there on social media, but I ask people just to give us a little bit of patience while we work through a really complex scene. A lot of witnesses were here. We've taken them to another location to debrief them and interview them. As we do that, I think the picture will become more clear. But it would be irresponsible for me to speculate on motive this early on. We're only a couple hours into this thing.
Was something wrong?
I'll go right here.
About the suspect, can you confirm the description about him? Because we know any picture running social media.
I haven't seen it, and I wasn't here when he was arrested. All I know is it's an adult male. We're working to identify that person. We're working to figure out where they're from, and we're in contact with our federal partners as well as we figure that out.
Was something thrown at the group?
That is being investigated as well. So our initial call, as I mentioned, was a report that someone was setting people on fire. That is fairly consistent with the injuries that we found on scene, but we're not 100% certain how that happened, and that's what we're doing to interview. There's a lot of witnesses that we're interviewing. I suspect within this evening, I suspect we'll have a better idea of exactly how those injuries occurred.
Are you guys going to have additional security for Jewish and Israeli people helping the hostages in the circle right now? Because this is a reoccurrence, are you guys going to now have some additional security measures to protect Jews in Boulder?
So what I will say is, again, I cannot confirm right now that this was targeted at a specific group of people. We understand that there's a lot of tensions right now and a lot of issues in the United States and everywhere. Once we have a clear motive, we will react accordingly. And if that motive was a group was targeted, we will absolutely step up and ensure that additional security, additional presence. We want people to feel safe no matter what they're here for.
How many people were injured?
I don't have an exact number. What I will say is multiple. I can confirm that Boulder Community Hospital received multiple patients, and some of those patients were transferred to other hospitals. Right now, we have detectives working to find out specifically the number. Again, hopefully later this evening we'll have an exact number. Right now, I'll just say multiple. I take one more question.
Any threatening injuries?
I believe so. What I'm being told is there are a range of injuries from very serious to more minor. And again, I just am. My heart goes out to those victims, and we're keeping them in our thoughts, prayers, and minds as they recover. I got to go back to the command post.
This call. And I'll tell you that we're going to have another update later tonight. We will post that out and we will live stream it as well. So follow our social media for the next update. We will have another update for you this evening.
Okay, so yeah, you get the point, man. So this is what's going on. This just happened today out here in Colorado. So we'll see how this plays out, man. We'll see how this plays out. But we know that Esau has to come with those accusations, man. And we tell you all the time, all right, we are not to be at no rallies. The elders of GMS have told us that we are not a part of any kind of rally for any cause outside of doing the work of Yahweh Shemi Awashai. All right, prophesying and preaching the word, on our appointed days. We're not out here partaking in any kind of march or anything like that, because things like this happen. All right. You see, we don't stand with the Palestinians and we don't stand with those 1948ers, man. All right. So just to put it out there, we are solely committed to serving Yahweh Shemi Awashai, man. We do that by preaching and prophesying, nothing else. Okay. But you see this, man. We're going to watch how this unfolds, man. It's on Fox News. All right. They're calling it a T attack, as you can see right here. All right. Check this one real quick.
We start with the Fox News alert. The FBI is investigating what is being called a targeted terror attack in Boulder, Colorado. The alleged attack happened at a mall in between 13th and 14th Street. That's in downtown along Pearl Street in downtown Boulder. We're hearing from the FBI director, Kash Patel, calling it a targeted terror attack. We're also hearing just moments ago from the governor of Colorado, Jared Polis, who says he is closely monitoring the situation in Boulder. His thoughts go out to the people who have been injured, impacted by this heinous act of terror. Details are just coming in. Our local Denver Fox affiliate KDVR telling us that around 3 p.m., some sort of device exploded in what was an organized walk of a group that is pro-Israel that was walking in support of the hostages still held in Gaza. We're trying to learn more. We're trying to also effort some images there, but a difficult Sunday Sunday evening news to hear of what the FBI is calling a terror attack. Now, the local affiliate, KDVR in Denver, talking to some individuals that appear to be part of this group called Run for Their Lives. Again, supporting, having a walk on a Sunday afternoon to support the return of all of the hostages, Israeli hostages in Gaza. One of the organizers saying that they are devastated by this, and we're trying to find out exactly what happened and why this happened. Police have evacuated that area. If you are watching this, hearing this in the Boulder area, stay away from that downtown area. They're clearing the scene. We're also hearing that local officials are preparing soon to have a press conference. Well, we will learn more about this. You're seeing now we've got a live shot here of Boulder, Colorado, where we're awaiting a press conference imminently. That's what we know. We will continue to bring you more. I'll broaden it out.
Okay, so yeah, you can watch this on your own time, but yeah, man, they said they're gonna have a press conference with more information. So we'll see what transpires. But yeah, let's get a few more precepts. All right, here we have the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10, starting verse 3. It says, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh." All right, meaning we're not carnally at war with any of the heathen. All right, we're not out here trying to beat up Esau or do any physical harm to these devils. All right, we don't need to do that. We're just commanded to preach the word, man. The word that we fight is spiritual, okay, not physical. Verse 4 says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal," I mean they're not physical, "but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds." You see, and this word is sharper than any two-edged sword, man. All right, this is the greatest weapon that we have, man. The word of Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai. All right, because this word is the truth, and lies cannot stand the truth. And Esau's whole reputation has been built off of lies and deceit. So when we preach this word, it hurts these devils, man. It hurts them on all levels. You see, so they have to do things, to try to get, how should I say this? They're going to do things in the near future to try to discredit those who speak this word. All right. They're going to try to do things to have, the world look at us like we're the problem. All right. Like I said, they could stage false flag attacks. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that thing in Boulder was a false flag. It could be. All right. Like I said, I wouldn't put it past these devils because they're scrambling. All right. But anyway, this is a warning to you Israelites out there, man, who are preaching and prophesying. We are not to be carnal. We are not to get physical with anyone, man. Okay. Except in self-defense, man. It says, strive to be at peace with all men. All right. So we're not out here trying to beat people up, man. That's the thing I'm trying to, get across right here. Because they want to say that, oh, those Hebrew Israelites are violent, and whatever else. They want to tie us to, how should I say this? I got to be careful with my words. They want to try to tie us in to T attacks and whatnot, man. All right. And it's coming, you know what I'm saying? They're going to say that, regardless, because it's prophecy. But we don't want to give them, anything to fuel the smear campaign. You see what I'm saying? We are to be blameless out here. So here's the scripture that I mentioned. All right. Hebrews 4:12. It says, "For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart." All right. This word is a more powerful weapon than any kind of physical weaponry. That's why all we do is preach the word, man. And Esau is hurt by that. And that's why, we know that they're going to come after us, man, with all kind of false accusations and whatever else they got in their arsenal. All right. So we're prepared for that already. All right. This is something that you have to get your mind prepared for, man. All right. They're going to demonize those who speak against them. And the main ones are the Hebrew Israelites, man, the true prophets of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And this word is hurting these devils, man. All right, here we have the book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 16. This is Lord Yahweh Shai speaking, or who they ignorantly call Jesus. His true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. And he says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Right? We're supposed to be moving with wisdom out here. Okay? We're supposed to be moving in wisdom out here because the days are evil, man. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be walking circumspectly. All right? Knowing that our enemies are round about us. All right? And we're sheep amongst wolves. All right? Esau being the wolf. All right? The predator. All right? And we are to be harmless as doves, man, because guess who's going to defend us? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai will defend us and plead our cause. We ain't got to do nothing but continue to do what we're doing and preaching his word in truth and in sincerity and moving in faith. We don't have to get physical or carnal with any of these motherfuckers, man. Okay? And the whole thing in the news, you know, it was talking about, you know, well, they didn't actually say who it was, but, you know, hold on a second. Let me not even go that route because we got to get more information on this. So, Salakia. Let's go ahead and go to the next verse, though. Verse 17, it says, but beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. All right. See? So the Lord was warning of, you know, the men of the Lord being taken into custody. All right. You see? Verse 18, and ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, and for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. So the Lord is, you know, bringing this thing to pass, man. You know, as the days go on, as the days progress, we're getting closer and closer to this happening. All right. You see, the elder apostles, man, when 9/11 happened, you know, back then in 2001, they were brought up falsely on charges and they did nothing wrong. They had to be in jail and whatnot, and they didn't do anything wrong. So, you know, we're expecting that treatment as well, man. All right, but guess what? They were free. They were justified. All right, the Lord is going to justify his elect, man, as long as we remain blameless. Okay. It goes on to say here, verse 19, but when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. So say you're brought into court, you know, they falsely accused, you know, us of doing something that we didn't do. You know what? The Lord's going to give us the mouthpiece to speak, man. We ain't got to try to formulate nothing right now and try to figure out, you know, a whole, you know, speech of what we don't say. The Lord going to give us the utterance, all right, as he sees fit at that appointed time, all right? And when the Lord speaks to us, nobody can gainsay or resist it, man. Okay? So, yeah, man, hey, things are heating up, man. And I can't wait to see the press conference they come out with, you know, here in the near future to see more details on the matter. But, yeah, the Lord gonna give us the utterance to speak it, you know, say, you know, for instance, we're brought up on charges, you know, falsely. All right. The Lord's gonna give us the voice to speak. All right. And it goes on to say right here, verse 20, for it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father, all right, Yahweh, which speaketh in you. This is what Yahweh shall telling us, man. All right. This is what's gonna happen. Got to bring this out. This is Revelation 2 and verse 9. Also, Lord Yahweh Shai speaking. It says, or he says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. This is applied to the current imposters right now, you know, those 1948ers. But this is actually in the beginning talking about the wicked Jews in the, you know, in the ancient times. But this applies to those false JEW is over there right now. Okay, we got to qualify the scripture because this applies to them. All right, they are not the people of the Lord, man. And the Lord sees their ass. All right, they ain't getting away. Verse 10, it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. You see that? Because Esau likes to put laws into place to criminalize those who speak against his narratives. So we could be facing jail time just for speaking the words of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And it's a reality that you have to take into account when you come to serve Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. But the Lord said, be faithful unto death, man. All right. Now, I want to emphasize the fact that, the word devil right there is not talking about a guy in a red suit underneath the earth in hell, with a pitchfork. This is talking about a man. All right. A certain man on the earth is known as the devil, and it's Esau Edom. All right. Because a spiritual demon can't cast you into a prison. All right. It's a physical man that's going to try to cast us into prison or throw some of us into prison as prophesied. All right. And that man is the devil, man. Esau Edom. Now, I want to get this word devil real quick in the Blue Letter Bible. Give me 1 second. All right. So here we have it in the Blue Letter Bible, Revelation 2:10. Let's get that word devil real quick. Let's get the definition. All right. Here it is right here in the Greek. Okay. Let's check it out.
Strong's G 1228. Diabolos. Diabolos.
All right, there you go. And it says prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely. Look, that's what that word means, man. A calumniator, false accuser, slanderer. Look, metaphor applied to a man, you see, who by opposing the cause of the Most High may be said to act the part of the devil or to side with him. Nah, he is the devil. He is the false accuser. All right. You see, and the Edomite is the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. Satan uses these damn devils to carry out, his orders. You know what I'm saying? All right. So that's what's going on right here. Esau is the devil on the earth, and his track record shows it. All right. And he's going to prove to the world that he is the devil. He's already doing it, man, by, you know what? I'm not going to speak on that, the thing going on over there in Gaza, because that, could get this video flagged. But anyway, this man is the false accuser, man. The devil, Esau Edom. All right. So I want to bring this out. All right. This is very important to know. This is Romans 12 verse 19. It says, dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So the Lord is finna exact vengeance on our enemies, man. All right, that's why we don't get cornered. We're not to go out there and physically do anything. All right, all we do is preach the word, man, to feed the elect, to glorify Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, to prophesy. The Lord is gonna do the damage. All right, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is gonna repay our enemies. And our enemies are all the nations outside of the nation of Israel. All right, the true nation of Israel. All right, the 12 tribes. All right, Psalms 83 tells you that all the nations, all the heathen are against us, man. But we ain't got to do nothing to them. The Lord gonna do it all, man. All right, all we got to do is preach the word, man, because they're definitely trying to find ways to demonize the Hebrew Israelites. In case you don't know. So here's something that's very interesting right here, the Book of Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha, all right, chapter 2, and it goes in on the mindset of the devil, man. You should definitely read this particular chapter in the Book of Wisdom of Solomon, all right, in the Apocrypha, because it tells you how these devils think, all right, and this is what they say to themselves. They say, let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. And who runs the judicial system? All right, these damn devils. They run the court system and they make the laws, these different unrighteous decrees. All right, they write them in the law. So their strength a lot of times is their very own laws that they make. They make laws against certain people to criminalize them. All right, you see, they're gonna do that same tactic in these last days, man. They're going to try to come up with some kind of law to where we can't preach the word anymore. They're going to say that it's hate speech and it's a, violation of the law if we're preaching Yahweh Shem Yahushai and against those 48ers. All right. So they're going to be, in their eyes, justified in locking us up. Verse 12, it says, therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objective to our infamy, the transgressions of our education. So this is how they think about us, man. They say they want to lay in wait for the righteous. They know that we're the righteous, and we're preaching the true doctrine of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, they know we're right in condemning their wicked ass, but they're the devil, so they're going to try to come after us. All right. And they know that our ways are clean contrary to their wicked ass ways. All right. We're the opposite of these damn devils. They love to move in wickedness. We, proclaim righteousness. All right. So therefore they want to take us out, man. And they use the judicial system to do so a lot of times. So I'm saying all that to say we can expect these devils to come up with draconian laws here in the near future to say that no more preaching and prophesying, all right, on the street corners, all right, because you guys are a hate group, and they're going to try to say that we're inciting violence or some shit like that. All right, we're just going to bring forth another prophecy, which is the famine of the word in Amos 8 and 11, where the Lord is going to take us off the highways and hedges, man, because the Lord is pretty much done speaking. And once we stop prophesying, all right, all hell going to break loose. So just know that we're getting closer and closer. And here's one that I quoted. All right. These devils bringing forth unrighteous decrees or unrighteous laws. Right. This is Isaiah 10 and verse 1. It says, woe, that means destruction. All right. Unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. Now we go to that word prescribed. It means written before time. These devils are very meticulous, man. They already got laws on the books that they've been planning on bringing out here in these last days to demonize the ministry. All right. So this could be a step closer, in that direction. Okay. We'll see how it plays out, man, but prophecy is moving, man. This is part of the straight gate, all right, that we have to endure. We got a couple more. We're going to close it out. All right. This is John chapter 15 and verse 18. All right, Lord Yahushua speaking, and he says, if the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. All right. And that's true, man. All right. People hate the Hebrew Israelites, man. Even the 2/3 of our own people. All right. You see them all the time on TikTok coming up with videos trying to demonize us. All right. You know what I'm saying? Showing their hatred towards us. If they come up with a story, in which something happened and they blame the Hebrew Israelites, they're going to jump all over it, man. They're going to jump all over it, man, because they hate us. They hate the spirit that's within us, man. We have the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right. And the Lord warned us of this, man, that we're going to be hated by serving the Lord, man. It's not a thing about getting YouTube likes and being popular or raising money on YouTube videos. No, it's not about that at all, man. All right. It's not a glamorous lifestyle when it comes to serving Yahweh Shem Yahushai and being a prophet, man. You're going to be hated. Verse 19, Yahushua says, if ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hated you. Yeah, because we're not on the same vibration as the world, man. This society, which is wicked. We're on a righteous vibration, man. We're actually trying to do the right things. We actually want to see righteous order established in the earth. So therefore, these wicked motherfuckers hate us, to simply put it. Verse 20, remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. So there you go, man. You got those who hated the Lord back then. All right. They want to kill him and bring him up on false charges. They lied against him. They falsely accused him. All right. They're going to do the same shit to us, man, because we're not greater than Yahushua and we're following after him. You see? So we're going to go through different things too, man. All right. And those who have hated the Lord in the past generations, they're back today, man, in this current generation. And since they can't get at Yahweh Shai, they're gonna try to get at us. All right. You see? And the elect that followed Yahweh Shai back in the day, they're gonna be listening to us, and they're gonna be on our side, just like they were following Yahweh Shai in the ancient time as well, man. So everybody's in their role, man. Everybody's playing their role in this movie, man. All right. But the majority of people hate the message of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and they hate the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So prepare your mind, man, for persecution. Speaking to myself first and foremost. Verse 21. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. Yeah, the Lord ain't dealing with these people, man. So what we're saying seems absurd to them. All right. It's going to look like we're the problem in their eyes, man. When in all actuality, they're the problem of the earth. All right. If you oppose Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai and his word and his will, then you are a problem, and you're going to be dealt with by the Lord, man. All right. But yeah, man. I got one more. We're going to close this thing out. So this is Romans chapter 8 and verse 30. I'm going to read down. All right. A few verses. And it says, moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called, and whom he called, them he also justified, and whom he justified, them he also glorified. It's talking about the Lord Yahweh Shai and the elect. The elect were predestined from the beginning and were given unto Yahweh Shai by the Heavenly Father. And Lord willing, we're of that number. So though we're going to be persecuted and brought up on false accusations and whatever, we're going to be demonized in the media and and whatnot. The Lord said He's going to justify us, man. Okay. You see, and then not only that, He's going to glorify us as well when it's all said and done with. So we don't need to be ashamed, man. We're not ashamed at all of the gospel of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Fuck these people. Verse 31. What shall we then say to these things? If the Most High be for us, who can be against us? That's right, man. We serving the Most High. Meaning nobody has authority over Yahweh. And if we're serving him and he justifies us, can't nobody say shit against us, man. All right. You see, but we will be justified, man. Verse 32. He that spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? You see, verse 33. Here's the point. We're going to close with this. Who shall lay anything to the charge of the Most High's elect? It is the Most High that justifieth. Yeah, because he's the ultimate judge. He's the one that has the last say. All right. Not Esau, not his court system, his crooked, perverse laws. All right. The Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai. So just a heads up, man. This news thing that just came out, man, a couple of hours ago, it could possibly turn into something else, man, something big. But we know that these devils have to bring the false accusations, all right, at some point in time, man. So prepare your mind, continue to serve the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and wait to be justified no matter what is brought upon you, all right? We're doing the right thing, man, and we're not to be out here being violent. We're not to be out here getting physical with anybody so that the ministry can be blameless, man, all right? So with that being said, I'm in this lesson right here. I ain't mean to make it that long, but hopefully you were edified. And I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Things are heating up, man. Kwame Yasharala in the Bible bar. Shalom.